Apple says the home button can't be replaced, and authorized shops will tell you that it requires an entire display replacement. But neither of these things are true. It all just depends on how much you care about Touch ID, and in the case of this iPhone SE, the owner does not. So today I'll be walking you through replacing the home button with an aftermarket one that still has the same functionality. As is tradition, 2 pentalobes at the bottom need to be removed. Shout out to Tim Apple for keeping the same size driver for so many generations. Once those are out, I'll use my thin metal pry tool to work my way around the edges of the display to separate the adhesive. While it may look like I'm violently trying to open a freshly caught fish, the display is actually quite shielded from the sides and back, but the right side needs to be handled gently. Upon opening the device, I found exactly what you might have suspected all along. It's the inside of an iPhone SE. In a bold and unexpected step towards repairability, Apple chose to switch to all Phillips screws for this one. Very cool, Tim. The center screw is already quite loose. This is pretty normal when phones have experienced an impact. One day those engineers will learn what thread locker is, but today is not that day. Our proximity sensor ribbon is located at the top of the board, hidden behind a shield with another 3 Phillips screws. Just remember, Apple likes to mix and match thread count, so keep a good map. Under the primary shield is my favorite part, the battery connector. Disconnecting it is pretty important, and you probably shouldn't use metal tweezers for this. I'll pop the display and home button extension ribbon, and the proximity towards the top. Finally, the display is free to be removed. Now onto the primary target of this repair, the home button. It's hidden behind a shield held tight with 4 tri-wing screws. The home button is also adhered to the display, so a bit of heat will help soften it for easy removal. Medium airflow at about 220 degrees Celsius with movement for a few seconds usually does the trick, and poses no risk to the display. Now we've got the replacement home button. Various vendors sell these, but they all work virtually the same. These mimic the signals from the original home button and support single, multi, and long press actions. Unfortunately, unlike every other manufacturer, Apple serializes their Touch ID module in the button to the main board. Even if you use an OEM button directly from Apple, it won't work unless you have access to their proprietary online serialization tools. The way Apple wraps ribbon connectors makes me suspect that several teams of engineers forgot to talk to one another. Then they just took that design and ran with it for multiple years. I'll reconnect everything to test the new home button before reassembly. There are few things as frustrating as fully reassembling a device only to find out something isn't working as expected. With everything working well, it's time to give this iPhone some fresh new adhesive around the frame. After removing and cleaning the old adhesive, I'll line up the new stencil and press it into place. I like to use a flat head and guide it around the frame to ensure it's as flat as possible. Finally, we go in reverse order, making sure to tighten all the screws properly this time. All in all, this is an easy repair and a great way to keep your phone up and running. As difficult as life can be when you have to enter a passcode, it's still better than being stuck with assistive touch for a home button, in my opinion. What are your thoughts? Do you want a phone with a physical home button, or are you enjoying gesture controls on your own device? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.